In this episode of Kickstart with Kirtan, you're going to learn how do you build new skills and make that practical, competent and cash cow. How do you actually love doing what you do and also build multiple skills. And we are also going to learn about what to do when you feel like even though you have done a lot of tasks, lot of achievements, lot of success, but you still feel void or hollow. What to do during that time. So we're going to explore all of this in this episode number 4 of Kickstart with Kirtan. So if you are actually consistently watching all this episode, I really say thank you for making it happen. And many of you are already asking the questions. Those of you who are joining in for the first time, so I would suggest you that make sure that you stay till the end, because half knowledge is always dangerous, right? So make sure that you get through this, make through this happen. And also I want you to actually comment below what is that specific questions that what you have about career or lifestyle or wealth or any other areas that where you want to get the answer on. We are going to discuss that every single week. Right? So if you have your questions, you can actually drop your questions to 81472304777. Every week we come in and discuss like this on various other topics to get that kickstart for the next coming week. So this is going to be really awesome. So I hope that you're going to enjoy this particular episode. Let's get started. Deepthi is going to be the voice of this particular episode. Yes, Deepthi, let's get started with the first question.
This is Royston from Mangalore. I have read your book, Why Being Independent is Awesome. Can you brief me about phases of building skills like practical, competent, and cash cow, and how to build multiple skills?
Amazing questions, Royston. So that is really amazing to actually hear that question from your side. So one very important thing what you have actually brought it down, like how to build a lot of new skills. How do you actually take that from one level to another level, right? See, one thing we all need to understand today, it's actually making very clear sense for everybody, but very few people are taking the action, which is skill is the new currency, right? So what you see as a paper here, so what's more valuable than this right now is skill. What is that skill what you are building? And the skill what you are building, is it relevant 1 year from now? Is it relevant 3 years from now? Is it relevant 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now? Many people are not even ready to build a skill. This is the fact. This is the truth. Many people are like that Nokia phone. You saw that tuku phone, which was in 2008, 2010. That is the era. People are still like that Nokia, thinking that so we have achieved, we have dominated. That's exactly how Nokia was thinking. What happened to Nokia today? It's not there in the radar because it was thinking only in the present. It was not ready to change for the future. It was not ready to see, adapt, change, right? And in this episode, I'm going to share with you the number one skill and the only skill which is going to save you. I'll tell you, many people ask me, sir, should I actually work on artificial intelligence? Should I actually build app development? Should I actually learn public speaking? Should I actually learn creative skills like video editing, designing, Photoshop and various other skills, right? So in College Innovators or in various other places that where we actually support people on, people ask us a lot of questions and I tell them only one thing, okay? See, what was relevant yesterday is relevant today. Right? So much fast the technology is moving, and in that stage, so how do you actually predict that this skill is going to be the future? Because what is actually happening is that more and more people are getting more and more competitive, and all the solutions, even today the simplest of things are getting organized with the help of technology, with the help of various different skills, tools and things, right? So now how do we actually foolproof our future? How do we actually protect our future no matter what? If you build this one skill, how can you actually do that? I'll tell you. Listen me carefully. Hear me carefully. This is very important. The only skill and the number one skill that you need to be building is the skill of building new skill. I repeat it again, the skill of building new skill. That is the only skill which is going to protect you for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, next 30 years, 40 years down the lane. because you will be knowing that you are ready to adapt for the future. 3 years down the lane, completely different set of skills like programming languages or the apps or the platforms, everything changes. It does not matter to you. The reason is because you have built that number one skill, which is the skill of building new skills. For you, anything comes new, it's not a trouble to you because you are open minded. Many people are not open minded today. They are like that mobile phone, Nokia, tuku, they are not ready to move on to that touch screen. Are you understanding? They upgraded too late. And once you are upgrading and updating too late, it's over, right? So it's very important that you take the action right now. You take the action right now in terms of updating and upgrading your skill set. And many people ask this question, sir, why to build multiple skills right now? So why it is very important for me to actually focus on multiple things? Is it not taking my focus? One thing that what you have to understand, so when you are building multiple skills, you are also building your ability to do more things, and you are also increasing your horizon of thinking, right? And you also have the ability right now to connect the dots and create something new. I give an easy analogy for people to understand simply in a layman's language. So why it is very important to build multiple skills? Let's understand that. Let's consider you go to any Indian temples, right? So you see any god or goddesses will be having what? How many hands? Multiple hands, right? And you see any god with multiple tools which are very different in each hand, right? And you go there and you bow down to the god, right? So seeing that, it's so much powerful, right? And why is that tool is used? Like you might have heard about a lot of stories of God killing the devils, right? So the enemies and stuff like that. But based on different enemies, different tools are used when it comes to different situation, right? And more hands means more power. Then I ask them this question, think about it. I'll ask you this question. So think about it. So Dwarapalakas in the temple, how many hands they will be having? 2 hands. How many tools they will be having? 1 tool, right? So like this, Gada, right? So then what will actually happen is that one thing that what you have to understand is that whom you actually give more importance and power to? God, not to the Dwarapalakas, right? If you just have one skill today, you are done, right? So you will be just treated just like that, and you will not be able to get any of the possibility for you to explore to the next level. If you want more possibility and opportunity, so you need to build multiple skills like that. Only then you will be able to connect today. So today all, like if you consider any of the next generation technology which is happening, right? See for example, biotechnology. So right, so bio and technology is intersecting. If you consider mechanical and electronics intersecting and creating mechatronics, lot of intersecting fields. This is the future, right? If you consider any tools, device, products, anything, so it's actually a combination of multiple things. And many people actually take this very clear distinction. They'll not be having this distinction between what is skill and what is knowledge. Let's understand that easily, right? So because skill is something, what you have to understand is that skill is something which is that you are able to do that practically, right? And also when you do that, you are able to achieve something, right? Like for example, swimming. So you are able to practically do it and you are able to achieve it, which means that you are able to swim in the water, could be river or could be in the sea, right? So you are ready to actually go through that. But when it comes to knowledge, it's only here as an information. Like for example, even without having the knowledge, you can have skill. I'll give you a couple of examples. Can you not know the molecular structure of water, the knowledge of water as a molecular structure? Can you know swimming? Absolutely yes. Which means that in the name of knowledge, we are acquiring so much of information, but which is not relevant to build a skill. And what is required today is skill building. But I am not saying knowledge is not important. Knowledge is readily available at the fingertip today, which means that it is there. You just open your mobile phone, ask Google, ask Siri, ask any tools, they will be able to support you, right? So it's very important that what you have to understand today is that, so information, knowledge is available, but how do you implement that? This is where everything is missing, right? This is like a potential energy. Knowledge is like a potential energy, but so skill is like a kinetic energy, right? So knowledge anybody can go and acquire. Skill, you have to learn it from the one who has already done it. Like the best way to learn swimming is not try to swim just by yourself. No one have become Olympic champion just by learning by themselves. Even cricket people have coaches, right? So swimming coaches, right? If you consider any Olympic athlete, they have coaches and mentors who are supporting. If you consider any business owner today, have coaches and mentors. Many people are moving just in a random chaotic way without any coach or mentor. So it's very important to take the support system of the coach and mentor to build the skills, right? So knowledge can be acquired, but you need mentors and coaches to build the skills. Once this distinction is there, now you understand how do you actually go about it. One thing that what you have to understand when it comes to skill building, it has to happen in a modeling. Like for example, think about it. Walking, is it a knowledge or a skill? Nobody actually made you to come and say, hey, sit down, I'm going to teach you how to walk. Nobody actually gave you something like that, right? So walking is a skill, and that actually basically came from modeling, right? You started seeing other people walking around you and you saw like, oh, this is how they are actually doing, right? You started imbibing that, right? That's exactly how you build skills, which means by modeling others, by taking the best practices from others. That's exactly how skill is built, which is swimming, right? Like you see how your mentor is giving a stroke, how he is actually flapping his legs, right? So that's exactly how you learn it, right? So learn it from the one who has already done it by watching, by modeling, right? So by seeing the best practices and adapting that. But many people in the knowledge world, in the academic world, they call it as copy. Is that a copy? No. Any skill you consider, right? So it's actually modeling. You cannot say, I want to learn some unique skill. Many people try to go there and try to do butterfly, not just knowing the freestyle of swimming. You cannot walk handstand before you knowing how to walk by two legs, right? So which means that practical is important, then you can make it competent, then you can bring out your uniqueness, right? So practical comes first and then you make it competent and then you make it cash cow. Cash cow means how a skill can be monetized, right? That's a very important thing. Like for example, if you're doing swimming for a hobby, it is not monetizable, right? But if you become a swimming champion, it is monetizable. Because of you winning various championships, you generate money, right? So not only that, you can still be a coach of swimming and support a lot more people, and still it can be a cash cow, right? So it's very, very important. So there is a very important person, specifically his name is called as Michael Phelps. So he has actually won closer to 28 medals, 28 medals for 4 consecutive Olympics. He has won there. So he's actually called as a man where he's full of, he's decorated with a lot of medals and achievement, right? So Michael Phelps. So what actually happened in his life? So one thing is very, very clear. So he has this particular thing. See, people actually laughed at him when he was building skill for Beijing Olympics. Okay, for 4 years just before that he was in China. So every single day swimming, practicing. Because he wants to understand the ground, which means that any mastery always comes with 10,000 hours of time. Any mastery, right? So anything. But the thing is that when you are actually building multiple skills, you are also building that one big skill of building multiple skills. Are you understanding? Because in companies, what will happen is that when you want to do any project, you require to learn many more things just in and around that. You cannot say only one thing is there, let me master, let me go deep down. No, right? So you need to be general first and then you go specific. Once you know this is the niche point, I got to actually crack it down, then you go down, right? So that is very, very important. That is how you can take your skills from practical, then competent. So competent is where you actually start seeing how can I be best in my district, how can I be best in my state, how can I be best in my nation, how can I be best in the world. That's when you become world class at what you do. How can you make your craft world class? That requires 10,000 hours of your time putting in one direction, right? So I hope that you are able to understand that, Royston. So let's move on to the next question, Deepthi.
Yes, sir. This is Pratik from Karkala. Even after doing many tasks and achievements, whatever I have done feels small. I don't feel any happiness or grateful. What do I need to do, sir?
Amazing question, Pratik. So this is a very important question what you have pointed out, because only very few will be having courage to actually share what you are actually feeling. Even after doing lot of tasks, even after doing lot of achievements, you feel hollow inside, you feel void inside. So usually that is a very common thing which is actually happening with most of the people. Even celebrities face that, right? So once they actually achieve certain level of success in their life but still feel not satisfied, don't know what is that next level for them, what is that next more thing that they want to achieve and conquer, and don't feel like doing anything, and slowly you start getting into a negative spiral, and that actually drains you down, right? So what to do during this particular time? So one thing what you have to understand, basically this particular problem is arising from within, right? So which means that you are not feeling something even after something that what you have achieved, right? But one thing you have to understand here is that this is where you are missing very important thing, which is celebration of life. Because think about it, I'll give one example. Okay, so think about it, when you actually got that first time prize in your entire life, could be for a kabaddi, running race, or any games, or any sports, or any extracurricular activities, how it felt you, like how did you feel, right? So it was like awesome, right? Amazing. But one thing that what you have to understand, for the person, like could be your teacher or could be person who is actually giving that for you, that prize, for him, he knows that it is not the greatest thing on the planet earth, but for you it means the whole world, right? So why it actually felt like that for you? Because you absorbed a full life during that time, you were completely involved, you saw that as a possibility, as a doorway for your life, and you actually took that, and that started becoming your identity. More and more you start achieving, more and more it felt like you expanding, growing, right? So that is actually happening because you are carrying the personality of whom you are creating yourself in the outside world, right? So that actually give you the sense of achievement. But as we start achieving more and more, suddenly we forget to celebrate. And the moment we forget to celebrate, we are growing ourselves financially, socially, economically, and in family, in every place we are actually growing, but we are missing ourselves to build that identity together. We miss to actually build that self-esteem along with that, and suddenly once you are actually grown to so big level, you just look into it, it feels like hollow, it feels like void. The reason is because you haven't actually celebrated that. Because one thing is very clear, if you are not celebrating your every single success, it could be very small or it could be very big, it does not matter, right? But you need to celebrate it. If you are missing celebration, you are missing life. So understand that it is very fundamental thing that which actually makes the basis. But if we see into various saints, right? So if you see any saints or sadhus or any people, so they are in an amazing state, that's different. So they call that particular state as equanimous state. Equanimous state means like whether it happens really great or it does not happen anything, could be worst, it is same for them. That is a different experience, that is called as equanimous state. But what you are feeling is something negative. Even when you achieve, if this is going against you, which means that your own achievements are working against you, which means that fundamentally you are doing something wrong with yourself, right? So it's very important. And I always give this one more example, is that think about a sharp knife. You have it in the hand, but if the hand is not stable, you actually harm yourself. Similarly, your identity is like that. If your identity is very strong, certain about what you are doing, it gives you the purpose, it gives you the meaning in life. So suddenly if this becomes shaky, the identity, then whatever you do becomes meaningless. That is where, see, many people actually get into suicide, right? So which means that one thing that what you have to understand, the su means you, right? So suicide means you cutting yourself off, suicide, right? So many people get into that action rather than, see, for example, there is a word called as decide, right? Decide means what? The decision. For you to achieve something in your life also you have to do decide, right? So which means that this is it, you cutting yourself everything off and this is it that I want to do, right? Then you start achieving more and more, because decisions what you take today is what is going to shape the destination, right? But once you are taken the decision, if you are not celebrating every single success whatever you are having till you actually achieve the destination, what is going to happen? So you are actually cutting yourself off from that situation also. Are you understanding what I am talking about? Then you are missing celebration and you feel disconnected. This is actually happens with many of the people who are in corporate world. So they do work, they achieve, they get this award, that award, all this they get, but still they feel like, I feel like not loving what I am doing. That feeling comes, the reason is because you have missed somewhere the conscious process of building your personality, right? Presence is there, but the presence has not grown, but personality of you has grown, right? It has to grow together. That is when it becomes really, really powerful. But when you grow your personality, if you can keep it at a distance with that amazing presence, you can do wonderful thing. So that is where a lot of inner work has to be done on the question what you have actually asked about. I hope that it answered your question about how can you actually build that celebration culture in you for achieving every single task, for achieving every single success that whatever you have in your life. I hope that it answered your question, Pratik. So keep asking questions like this, guys. I'm getting all excited every single week to add more and more value. I'll be coming every single week like this to give you lot more insights in the area of career, in the area of personal mastery, in the area of lifestyle, wealth, right? Even love and relationship and health and happiness, because all these things are, see, because my approach to life is that how can we actually bring balance between all of these areas, right? So these are very important, and it's a very important discussion that we need to have upon, right? So I also would be very interested to learn about your perspective, your insights on whatever we actually discussed today. Share it in the comment box. Share it in the comment box. So I'll be replying to every single comment that I'm going to read it. So make sure that share your perspective about, so what do you think about this, right? So that's going to be really awesome. So if you have any other questions, so start asking your questions to 81472304777. So I repeat it again. So 81472304777. So drop your questions there. So I'd be very happy to answer your questions in the next episode, right? So till then, make sure that you go out there and share, care, and spread the religion of love and make a difference in a lot of people's life. Look forward to see you.